A long time ago, in the village of Nim, a baby girl was born under the full moon. Her mother, Mama Ife, held her in her arms, smiling with joy. Outside the hut, the wind blew strangely, making the trees shake. The animals in the forest were quiet. The villagers, who had gathered to welcome the child, felt a shiver run down their spines. An old woman, the village seer, stepped forward and touched the baby's tiny hands. She closed her eyes and took a deep breath. "This child is different," she whispered. She can hear the voices of the unseen. The baby's father, Papa Okeke, frowned. "What do you mean, elder?" The old woman looked at him with wise eyes. "The spirits are close to her. She will see and hear things that others cannot." The villagers gasped. Some smiled, believing the baby was special. Others frowned, afraid of what this could mean. Her parents named her Nnenna, meaning gift of the mother. But from the moment she was born, strange things began to happen. As Nnenna grew, she was not like the other children. When she played outside, she would suddenly stop and listen. Sometimes, she would giggle and whisper, as if someone was speaking to her. One afternoon, Mama Ife found her sitting under a big mango tree, talking softly. "Nnenna, who are you speaking to?" she asked. Nnenna smiled. "The old man in the tree," she said. Mama Ife looked up. The tree was big and strong, but there was no old man. "There is no one there, my child," she said. Nnenna giggled. "You just can't see him." That night, Mama Ife told Papa Okeke about it. "Our daughter is different," she whispered. "I fear the villagers may not understand her gift." One day, a young hunter named Obinna went into the deep forest to find food. But the sun set before he could return. He had lost his way. The villagers lit torches and searched all night, calling his name. But there was no sign of him. The next morning, little Nnenna came running to the chief's hut. "Obinna is near the big Iroko tree," she cried. "The spirits told me he is scared and hungry." The chief and the elders stared at her in shock. "How do you know this, child?" the chief asked. "I just know," Nnenna said. The villagers were unsure, but they followed her deep into the forest. They walked for hours until, at last, they saw a big Iroko tree. And there, just as Nnenna had said, was Obinna, tired, weak, and frightened. Everyone gasped. The chief looked at Nnenna with wonder. "You truly hear the spirits," he said. One year, the village faced a terrible drought. The river dried up, and the crops withered. The villagers prayed and made sacrifices, but nothing changed. The chief called Nnenna. "You have the gift. Can you ask the spirits why this is happening?" Nnenna went to the dry riverbed and placed her hands on the cracked earth. She closed her eyes and whispered, "Great Spirit of the river, where have you gone?" The wind blew, and the air felt heavy. Then, a deep voice rumbled from beneath the ground. "Your people have forgotten me," the voice said. "You took my water but gave nothing in return." Nnenna gasped. "What must we do?" The spirit's voice grew softer. "Restore the festival of the river. Sing, dance, and honor me. Do this, and the waters will return." Nnenna ran back to the village. "We must bring back the festival," she cried. The elders looked at each other in shame. Many years ago, their ancestors had promised to honor the river spirit every year. But they had stopped. The villagers prepared for the festival. That night, they gathered by the riverbed with drums and torches. The women sang, the children clapped, and the elders chanted the old songs. Nnenna stepped forward and spoke. "Great Spirit of the river, we have heard your voice. Please, return to us." The ground trembled. The air crackled with energy. Then, whoosh! Water gushed from the earth, rushing through the riverbed once more. The villagers cheered. Their water had returned. But not all spirits were kind. One evening, as Nnenna walked alone, she heard a whispery voice. "Nnenna, come closer." She turned and saw a shadow in the trees. Its eyes glowed red. "Who are you?" she asked. The shadow smiled. "I am a friend. Do you want to know more secrets?" Something inside Nnenna told her not to trust this spirit. She shook her head. "The good spirits teach me all I need to know. The dark spirit isn't. Be careful, child. Some spirits do not like humans who hear them." Then, it disappeared. That night, Nnenna told the seer about the dark spirit. The old woman nodded. "Not all spirits mean well, my child. Some will try to trick you. Always listen to your heart." As Nnenna grew, her powers grew stronger. People from far away came to seek her wisdom. She helped the sick, warned of dangers, and kept peace between the spirits and the villagers. One day, the chief called her to his hut. "Nnenna, you are no longer just a girl. You are a spirit woman." From that day, Nnenna became the guardian of Nim, the one who spoke to the unseen. But even as she grew older, she never stopped listening. And the spirits never stopped speaking. The moral of the story is to always respect nature and traditions, because breaking promises can lead to misfortune. Not all spirits are kind, some will try to trick you. And most importantly, always listen to your heart. It will always guide you to the truth.